Just thinking, I guess. Felt like making a video. Posting to Facebook just doesn't seem as real anymore. You know? I don't know. Been looking over some things in my life. Things that affect me, things that make me feel bad. I mean, I want to be the best mom I can be for my child, you know? I mean, every parent does. But, you know, it's real easy to feel burnt out and overwhelmed and stressed. And, you know, that happens. And my hair is such a mess. And I feel like I fail a lot because no matter how hard I try, the house is never as clean as I want it. I do make progress, but it feels like every time I make progress, it gets just twice as much destroyed. I feel like sometimes I feel like I failed because I'm not getting him as far along in schooling as I want to, or I'm not doing this, or I'm not doing that. It's really easy to be hard on yourself, especially whenever, you know, because like some people like me have some trauma in their life, and because of that, it makes me have some issues, I guess, is a simple way of putting it. It's really hard when you're trying to recover so you can better yourself and better your kids, and you're doing all these things to better yourself, and so you can be there for your kids and be the mom that you want to be, and you just don't make the progress you feel like you should, and you don't feel like you're getting there, and it's so hard to remember that you have to be patient with yourself, because after all, we're only human. We can only do so much, you know? And only being able to do so much means that we may not always make the progress. See, I used to get upset when I was going through counseling and I was trying to get better for me, just for me. And people that I was around would get upset with me because I wasn't making the progress that they felt I should. They wanted me to be better right then and there. They're like, well, you've been out of that for this long, 6 months, 7 months, doesn't matter how long I've been away. But I've been away long enough, damn it, for them to believe that I should be better. That things should be okay. And then one day it wasn't. It was like I just wasn't okay. And I couldn't hide it. I couldn't pretend I was all the time. I mean, everyone has a breaking point. And when I stopped being okay, it was like they'd get upset because I wasn't. And I was supposed to be better. And I would get mad because it's like, well, why should I have to make progress on your time schedule? It's my recovery. I'm the one who had to deal with it. I'm the one that has to recover. And everyone recovers at different rates. And I can't recover on your time. I can only recover on mine. And that's true for everybody. You can't make someone get better. You can't make someone feel better about themselves. You know? But in the process of getting better, for me and my son, I've also realized that I've done the same things that used to upset me about others. Instead of me being like, oh, well, here we are, you know, this is where I'm at, this is the progress I've made, it's not where I wanted to be at this point, but at least I made progress. I'm like, well, I should have been here, I should have been better by now, why can't I get better? And that's not fair, because now I'm doing the same thing that they did. I'm making a time schedule, and recovery isn't about a time schedule. Recovery is being patient with yourself and learning to love yourself so you can be there and be the person you want to be. It's about making sure that you are okay, not forcing yourself to act like you are. And that's been something that I've had to learn the hard way. And I know I look like a mess, and I don't really care because, you know, I'm just trying to be real right now, you know? Just sharing some random thoughts. And I know the video's probably crap because it's been taken off my phone because that's all I got, to be honest. I think the hard part for me is that I need to learn to dissociate my personal worth from outside sources, from the standards of others. That's hard for everyone, though, because we all want others' approval. We all want somebody to approve of us. We want affirmation. We want someone to tell us that we are good. But there's a lot of things that we can't control. Like, I mean, lots of parents, for instance, associate their worth with their kids' behaviors. But kids, they misbehave. That's just something that they do. We can't always prevent that. No matter how good we raise them, no matter how good of a parent we are, at some point, they're going to do something that's going to upset us or be bad or seem bad anyway, or make us feel like we're bad parents. But there's just a kid being a kid. You just need to know how to address it in a healthy way so you don't make the problem worse. Because largely what it is they're acting out because something's not being met. So we have to find out what it is that they need and not just overreact, which is hard. And sometimes you do react before you respond. And responding is better. But if you do react before you respond, you can always rewind and tell them you're sorry and try to fix it. Because the hard thing for a lot of parents is admitting that they were wrong to their kids. Like, see, sometimes because it's like we don't want to tell them that we're wrong because we're the adults. They should just listen to us. Well, they need to understand that these are the rules. But it's like but sometimes we do feel bad about the way that we reacted. But we don't apologize for it because we don't want them to know that we were wrong. Because we want them to think we're always right. But that's not right either because we're not always right. Nobody is. So if you do react before you have time to take a breath and respond, be sure to let your kid know that you were wrong. Let them know, hey, I'm on your side. Hey, babe.
Hi.
And that.
Oops, got it.
Here.
There,
You do want to make things right.
like that.
I will put. Well, that was. Well, that one. Well, the chick.
Sorry, I got a little distracted by them coming in the room.
You can still eat it.
I'll be right.
Fast, kid.
But anyway, sorry. It's like, because I mean, it's important that they know that we care and that we don't want to hurt them, that we are for them. I mean, sometimes we are going to have to do things that they aren't going to like, and it is going to make us feel bad, and that's okay. But we have to make sure that we're doing the right things. And a lot of teaching children isn't just telling them what to do, it's showing them what to do. So if we aren't being the best version of ourselves, or we aren't doing what we want to see in them as adults, then they're not going to do it when they're adults. They're not going to know what to do. They're not going to be that way because they're not going to be authentic because we aren't. So it's always important. Be yourself and be authentic. Another thing that lots of people associate their worth with is where they live or their situation, which, that's just a situation. It's not permanent. It's not going to be forever. Things are going to be better. I hear you getting into the candy.
What did you say?
Said I hear you getting into the candy.
There's something else when getting into the candy.
No, I want one.
What type?
I don't know what we got.
We got Snickers, Three Musketeers, Reese's, Milky Way, Twix.
Reese's.
No, I don't really like Reese's. We also have M&M's.
Yeah.
Oops. Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get it freaking.
Thank you. And no, I'm not going to edit this. Because I don't think that there's any such thing as mistakes, really. Well, there are mistakes, but life isn't about hiding your mistakes. It's about learning from them and being authentic. So, here we are. This is as real as it gets. I also know another thing that people tend to associate with their worth in life is where they currently work, which is just your current job. It's a job that's paying your bills. Once you can get your bills paid and you're working towards your goals, it doesn't really matter where you work, as long as you're not doing things that you're against. Don't work for a place if you're doing things you don't believe in, because that's just going to be soul sucking. You need to make sure that it's healthy to you. We're back. Sorry. Needed a minute. Another thing that we tend to associate our worth with is whether or not our house is clean and dirty. And like I said earlier, no matter how hard I try, I feel like I never make progress on that. But, you know, in reality, as long as you're trying, you're doing good. And that's all we can really do, especially if you have kids. I mean, if you have kids, you know, as soon as you clean it up, they're probably trying to tear it apart. So, I mean, I live in an apartment, but, you know, it's not that bad. I mean, I like it. So I can't afford a house right now. But that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not a good mom or that I'm any worse of a person than someone who can. It just means that right now, that's not where I'm at. But one day I will be, because I'm going to keep trying. One of the biggest things that people associate with their worth, though, is their appearance. Like, their, the way they look, the shape of their body, whether or not they're healthy, and what society thinks of the way they look. Oh, gosh, my hair. See? There we go. But it doesn't really matter how you look. And I know my hair's a mess, but I am just woken up and making this video, so I didn't really have time to straighten it. But the way that you look doesn't make you who you are. It's who you are inside. It's like your authentic self. This is just your vessel for now. I mean, you need to take care of it, and you need to make sure that you do, because it's the only one you got. But it doesn't make you worse of a person if you don't look the way you feel like you should, or that you feel like society should. Now, if you want to look a certain way, then make that your goal. Work towards that. But don't do it because other people think that the way that you look is wrong, or that you should do this because they disagree with it. Because then, in reality, the only opinion who really matters is your own. Another trap that a lot of people fall into is comparisons. I mean, we always compare. The problem with comparison is that we will compare our worst parts of ourselves with someone else's bests. It's like their strengths are that maybe are weaknesses. So it'll be like, well, they're just so good at this, and I suck at it. So because I suck at it, there's no point in me trying. Or you just start to feel like a bad person because you can never reach their level, because it's just not something that you are meant to do. It's not something that you are good at. Now, some things you can become good at if with practice. If you really want to do it, by all means, practice, learn to do it. But you'll find a lot more happiness if you find things that you love, things that you are passionate about, things that you want to do with your life. And you go out and you reach out and you try to achieve them. Because trying to achieve someone else's version of perfect or version of how they think life should be will never make you happy. Everyone has their own way that they want their life. What is yours? And the hard part with it is that we see so much stuff on social media and we don't even realize that most of it isn't as great as it seems. Like, we see all these great things, all these awesome things, and it's like, well, these people are doing all these things, they have all this stuff, why can't I have it? Why can't I do those things? But we don't really know what they're doing to get there. I mean, maybe they really are that well off, or maybe they're not. All we see is what they want us to see. And so we can't really make a good comparison, which we shouldn't be doing anyway, off of that. We can't make a good judgment based off of that. So it's just a matter of thinking down to what will really make you happy. Because, I mean, even if you get that stuff, even if you go do that stuff because they did, are you really going to be happy with it? Was it really something you wanted to do, or did you just want to do it because they did? Figure out what you want to do, what would make you happiest in your life, and reach towards that. Some questions that I've been asked lately: what are my core beliefs? And that's a really hard question for me. It's kind of like the question of, how do you actually feel about yourself? I'm never really sure how to answer those questions. I do know that I believe in honesty. I believe in loyalty. I believe people should try to achieve to be the best versions of themselves. But I don't really know what my core values 100% are other than that. But it's a question that I am meditating on. And I'll probably come up with the answer here when I can. Just gotta do some thinking on that. How about you? What are your core values? What is it that is important to you? Also, I know not everyone believes in a higher power. I do personally. And no, this isn't religious. It's just, I believe in being spiritual. Not religious. And I don't know. Sometimes people disappoint me, and sometimes it's really hard not to lose faith in humanity. I mean, I used to have very dark views on humanity, but I'm trying to get a more positive outlook and believe in the better, in the good of everybody, and that everybody can achieve their greatest version. It's just hard sometimes. Sometimes I find it hard to separate myself from others and how they feel, or what they want. I mean, everyone's going through their own life experience, so I mean, I can't really compare myself to them anyway. Their life is totally different from mine, and my life is totally different from theirs. So we're two unique individuals, so we'll never be the same. So it's really hard to compare that. So I don't even know why we try. And we all have, some of us have kids, some of us don't have kids. We all come from different backgrounds. All kids act different. We all have different partners that we're with. Our partners will be different. Our arguments will be different. The things that we do will be different because we're into different things. We all have family members, and now granted, some family members we can all associate with, like, which ones are difficult, which ones are not. But nobody's exactly the same, even in that category. We all have different friends, and we all do different things with our friends. Not everybody will run into the same people every day either. So, I mean, we never know what's going to happen today. And every day, we're creating a new life experience for our life, just like everyone else. So if their life is different than ours, 100%, from the moment they're born to now, we can't really compare it. Because no two lives are going to be exactly the same. So we need to stop taking on others' emotions and letting them control ours, because their emotions are not ours and their lives aren't ours. We need to take control of ourselves, our emotions, and our lives. I used to think that, life was always just going to be this way, that I was never going to feel better. But I'm starting to. I've been listening to a lot of great people lately who've motivated me to try to better myself, and giving me hope again. It made me start to feel like I might actually get there, People like, Dave Ramsey, for instance. He gave me hope for my financial situation, and Rachel Hollis has given me hope towards getting better as a person. And then I've been listening to things like the Mom Conference and things like that have really helped me feel better as a mom, even. Well, I'm not completely better, and I'm making progress every day. Every day I try to be a little better than I was yesterday. Sometimes I succeed, sometimes I don't, but that's okay. Sometimes we'll fall. We're human. But you know what? I've come to realize that I do get to feel better. I deserve better than what I've had. And my son deserves to see his mom try to become the best version of herself, because he needs me to be the best mom I can be. Now, if anyone actually knows me, they know that I don't like conflict, and I always try to de-escalate it. But not all conflict is always avoidable, I've learned. But just because it's unavoidable doesn't mean that you shouldn't try to calm it down. Sometimes I think as a parent, it's hard for me to understand that I'm important too, and that I need to take care of myself if I'm going to take care of other people. Because I don't know if you noticed, but it's really hard to care for others if you aren't caring for yourself. When you don't take good care of yourself, when you don't make time for yourself to get yourself into an okay headspace, it causes stress and worry and upset, and it makes you almost feel sick. And so then you aren't physically or mentally or emotionally even prepared to take care of and help another human being. So in order to help these other people and be there for them, kids, partners, family, doesn't matter. You have to take care of yourself. Understand that you are a priority. You are important too. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise, because you are an amazing and wonderful person. You will feel better when you start to take care of yourself and make time for yourself. Do the things that you want to do as well as what your family expects. Like, even if you just take an hour a day for yourself to do something that you want to do, then do it, Make yourself better. Because when you take care of yourself, you can take care of others. It's like you can't give something to someone else that you don't have for yourself. That's true with a lot of things. Like, if you don't love yourself, it's really hard to love another person. I mean, sometimes it's easy or feels easy at first, but after a while, you'll start to notice in any relationship, it's actually rather hard. Because, at the beginning, there's all that emotion and excitement. And then as things go on, that kind of starts to waver a little bit. Now, you can always reunite it and do things together to have fun, but over time, if you don't love yourself, you'll find it very hard to love another person. If you don't take care of yourself, you're going to find it hard to take care of another person. Because when you take care of yourself, your energy will increase. You'll feel less moody. You'll be in a happier place altogether. when you take care of yourself and make time for yourself and do things that you want to do, the things that you want to do for your life to make your life better, or that you just want to do to make yourself happy in the moment, you'll feel a greater sense of purpose. It's like, for me, for instance, I want to be a writer, but I never have time to write. So I started trying to take an hour every day to write. And that's all I do. As I sit down, I write. Because one day I want to finish this little compilation of my writings and try to get it published. And then I want to write a book. I've been trying to write this book forever. Promise is I never make progress because I'm always starting over. So I've decided no more of that. All I'm doing is writing. And we're going to get there. And it's given me a sense of purpose again. Because I'm happier. Because I'm doing the thing that I love every day. And I'm still making time for work, my kid, my family, my significant other. All that. Making time for everything. Including myself. Because before I was making time for everybody else. But I wasn't making time for myself. And I was miserable. I was unhappy. Now sometimes I still struggle with feeling happy. But I think everyone has their bad days. But most of the time, I feel a lot better. And that's a good thing. Another thing is when you take care of yourself and you're doing what you need to do for you, you'll be more able to give to others. And that's important. Anyway, that's all the time I got for this rant. I guess if that's what you want to call it. I just really need to get these thoughts out, and posting it just didn't feel right. So, I don't know if I'm actually going to upload this video. But if I do, I guess just know that I'm not going to be fake. It's all going to be authentic here. And that's all I ask from other people, is be authentic. Love each other. Hate takes up too much energy. So spread the love. Alright, bye y'all.